Game day. You know, it's something that I look forward to with my family, especially with my son, whether it's rugby or soccer, whatever. Sitting around the table with a nice sort of array of delicious snacks. That's what makes it, you know. And if it tastes delicious and your team wins, then life is good. So today we're going to make a buri. I love a buri with just a normal sauce, but sometimes I like to amp it up with sort of caramelized onions. And in this case today we're going to bring what I call dry beans. The beauty of the KOO baked beans, especially the baked beans itself as a base, is such a good vehicle to add flavor to. And then we're going to make what I call cowboy beans. That comes from old Western movies, and you're too young to remember Western movies, but I remember it, where they were always eating beans, you know. And so I'm gonna amp it up and then also make it a little bit spicy, serve it with a little salsa towards the end, and then just some toasted tacos to enjoy it. Bubbles, so you're gonna help me with the chorizo.
Okay.
So I like to take the skin off and then just slice it, and then our streaky bacon, just dice that up for us. Okay. So I'll get going on our cowboy beans.
We eat a lot of KOO baked beans at home. Normally we would have it with tomato relish.
And your mom cooks with it a lot?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. It's the one product that is always in the kitchen.
Yeah. You know, I used to remember growing up especially, very often it was sort of just heated up and then served as a sort of side dish. And then sometimes it appears as a salad, you know, those old braai salads with sort of green peppers and mayonnaise, and, you know, that goes with the braai. So it always came up in different meals, but it was always present.
My favorite is the mayonnaise and baked beans. I know it's not a salad, but it's the best. Also, I like to stretch my meals. So I would use it in mince. The quality of KOO baked beans is the best.
Okay, so I've got the onions. Now, you know, when you cook onions, you want to cook it slowly, get that sweetness in there. Especially now with the beans, the onions need to caramelize. That will add a lot of flavor. And then through that as well, I'm just going to sort of fry some of the tomato paste to go with it. So that's before I add the beans in, because the beans are cooked already, you know, so it's going to mash almost, you know, if I cook it too long.
Chef, I find that the tomato paste is a little bit zesty. Is that the flavor that you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, I'm telling you now, my palate appreciates more if there's some acidity around in my dish, because it brings out more of the flavors. It's moreish. Okay, this one is our baked beans in chili sauce. Yeah? Okay, now I'm going to add some of the KOO 4-bean mix. Okay, so still some smoked paprika. And while that's happening, if you don't mind, I like not to grate it, but I cut like cubes, and then I add it into my mix towards the end. Can you do that for us?
Yes.
Got some Worcester sauce and just a bit of chili oil. And now I just want to cook it through. What's important is when I look at it, I can see the variety of beans that I'm using in there. And now we're just going to put the cheese in. You normally do this just before you serve it. You know, once you start eating it, you want to see that sort of oozing cheese. Bubbles, how are you with braai?
So, but I think I can manage.
Okay, maybe I'll do it. We're going to go straight onto our griddle pan. And you know, when you use these griddle pans, you don't need oil because you're after the char. Okay? My dry beans goes very quickly, so I'll quickly move over to that. I like to have a bit of sort of caramelized onions though, so I'm going to use some of the red onions, they're a little bit sweeter. I use my favorite sort of dry sauce, and I use that to give my beans a lot more flavor. That goes to the buri.
Chef, how do you know when it's well done?
I wouldn't say there's like one rule to check whether it's finished or not. For me, I kind of feel it, you know, when it opens up a little bit more, you know, the heat's now penetrated inside. As soon as that happens, then it's going to cook very quickly. That's how it works. I kind of like it still slightly pinkish in the middle. How do you prefer it?
Medium rare.
Oh! Okay, we're in the same team. I think, Bubbles, we can start
Yes,
because
plating.
the game is about to start. We need to plate up and then get ready for our guests.
Most definitely.
So let's do it. When it comes to cooking, our own palate sort of guides us. So these are flavors that I enjoy. I cook to my taste. So for you, it might be different. So lean into that. Lean into the things that you know work for you. The beans as a vehicle is perfect because you can take it into so many directions. It's very versatile. Right, let's get the show on the roll.
Yes.